The wind howled through the dense trees, an eerie melody echoing across the forgotten landscape. Shadows danced beneath the gnarled branches, twisting and stretching, as if they had lives of their own. Lily had always been drawn to this part of the woods, fascinated by the stories of the long-abandoned cottage that lay hidden deep within its embrace. Locals whispered of strange occurrences, of silhouettes appearing in the fog, figures that vanished when approached. Yet, curiosity pulled her forward, her heart racing with the thrill of the unknown. As she stepped onto the narrow path paved with damp leaves, a thick mist coiled around her ankles, thickening with each hesitant step. The air was heavy with the scent of moss and decay, as if time itself had rotted away here. Her pulse quickened, excitement mingling with unease, but she pressed on, her flashlight flickering inconsistently, casting fleeting beams of light that illuminated gnarled roots and twisted underbrush. The deeper she ventured, the more the normal sounds of the forest faded, leaving an unnerving silence that felt almost sentient. Finally, she stumbled into a clearing, and there it stood, the cottage, decrepit yet strangely alluring, its frame warped with age, windows like hollow eyes staring into the void. Ivy snaked up the walls, claiming the structure as a part of the forest. She felt an inexplicable urge to enter, as if the cottage were calling her in a low, nagging whisper. Hesitating at the threshold, she brushed her hand against the splintered wood of the door. It creaked open with a reluctant groan, revealing an interior cloaked in darkness and dust. Inside, the air was stale, heavy with secrets. Shadows clung to the corners, and the floorboards creaked beneath her weight. Her flashlight beam danced across the dilapidated furniture, revealing remnants of a life once lived. A cracked mirror, a musty old chair, and something else, something barely visible tucked away in the dark recess of a corner. Leaning in, she strained her eyes, revealing a child's drawing, smudged and pale, depicting a figure standing in the woods, eyes wide with fear. Beneath it, 3 words were scrawled in uneven letters. "It sees you." A chill washed over her, sending icy fingers up her spine, but she fought against the urge to flee. The air grew colder still, and she felt the unmistakable sensation of being watched. Swallowing hard, she glanced back toward the door, and was met with thickening shadows, as if the very walls had shifted to embrace her. Heart pounding, she took a step back, almost tripping over the leg of a long-abandoned table. Suddenly, a low, guttural whisper echoed through the room, a raspy chant that sent tremors through her body. She couldn't make out the words, but the intent behind them was clear, a warning, a summoning. As her flashlight flickered again, she caught a glimpse of movement at the edges of her vision. An ethereal figure, shimmering and transparent, drifted in the corner, its eyes hollow, reflecting the very essence of despair. Panic surged, and Lily turned to run, only to find the doorway vanished, replaced by a wall of darkness. She pounded against the unseen barrier, breath coming in ragged gasps as the whispers grew louder, wrapping around her like a shroud. "Stay with us," they hissed in unison, the air thick with their mournful plea. The temperature dropped further, and she felt a coldness gripping her heart, freezing her hopes, draining her will. Glimmers of her past invaded her mind, laughter shared with friends, the warmth of sunlight on her skin, but those memories faded like mist, overshadowed by the pressing dread around her. In desperation, she spun to face the figure, pleading with its hollow gaze, "What do you want?" Its response was silent, but the intention was not lost. Images flashed behind her eyes, a glimpse of her own past, her own childhood drawings, eerily familiar. A girl alone in the forest, eyes full of fear. The realization struck her like a nightmare unfolding. She had been here before, lost, isolated, and her fate had been woven into the fabric of this place long ago. The shadows thickened, closing in around her, drowning her in despair as the whispers crescendoed. She felt herself being drawn toward the figure, an invisible thread pulling her closer, while the warmth of the outside world faded into an unreachable memory. And then, just as suddenly, silence enveloped her. The cottage stood still, cloaked in mist, waiting for the next curious soul to wander into its depths, where time twisted endlessly and shadows held dominion over the light.